Hello, great people. The tax reform bill of President Bola Tinubu have been generating a lot of reaction in the polity. The North have been displeased about the action of the president. They have tagged it a colonization agenda and they have been expressing their displeasure. In this video, I'll be talking about the alleged colonization agenda and the northern grid in this video. So we'll be looking at a whole lot of issues. And I think the best place to start is how did it evolve? First, the bill was an executive bill that emanated from the presidency to the National Assembly. And where the president made a mistake was that he didn't communicate, he didn't consult with the North and other stakeholders. His presidency just draft the bill and send it to the National Assembly. We can equate the suspicion of the North to that which happened under Buhari, the water resources bill. For instance, people know Buhari as a nepotistic leader, and they know that Buhari is a nomadic herdsman. That is his ancestral occupation. So Buhari is sympathetic towards anything cow. So when the water resources bill came during the Buhari administration, the South and other areas were all agitated because they were thinking that the Buhari government has an aging agenda. So the failure of President Bola Tinubu to consult with stakeholders was what made the North to be agitated. And for you to just draft such an important bill that relates to money, and you know that Nigerian state and politicians, they don't joke with anything money. For you to do it, that means you have an agenda. And that bill is perceived to favor Lagos State because Lagos is the commercial nerve center of Nigeria. Lagos has enormous population. The companies, most of their headquarters are domiciled in Lagos. So they are thinking that, oh, because you are a Lagosian, because you are a former Lagos State Governor, you now want to see the passage of this bill so that it will favor Lagos. So the suspicion of the North is justified based on the origin of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, based on his personality, just as I used the example of the water resources bill during the Buhari administration. But then we need to get one thing in all these arguments about the tax reform bill. And one of the things that we must get right is that, first, don't always encourage wrongdoing. Because if you encourage it, what favors you can come back to hurt you. What am I trying to say? When Bola Ahmed Tinubu became the president, he took some steps that he ought to have been called to order. These same northern politicians were part of the people that were applauding him. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not used to negotiation. When Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in on May 29, 2023, and he said fuel subsidy gone without negotiation. When did you negotiate? You have never been president. In fact, you just took the oath of office minutes ago. And the first decision, in fact, you were reading in the statement, your presidential speech, your inaugural speech, that you will consult every Nigerian, that you won't take decision unilaterally. All of a sudden, one wind just blow on the president's brain. He just went off script. That little moment that he went off script was when he said fuel subsidy gone. Everybody applauded him. These politicians, these APC guys that are now, against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they applauded him. Despite the fact that he took such decision without consultation. A departure from the norm of other presidents that Nigeria has had. He took the decision unilaterally. They applauded him. Bola Ahmed Tinubu bought toys, cars, planes, allegedly without legislative approval. Nobody said anything. They all kept quiet. And that's why I said, whatever you encourage will come back to hurt you. So, you see, there's what we call political behavior. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he was doing this thing, and he wasn't called to order, and he was being encouraged, whether by silence or by verbal praise that, oh, right on, Mr. President. Do you know that sometimes when you are silent, silent is a spoken word. When you are supposed to speak and you are silent, that means that you are encouraging that thing. All of them were silent. He bought those toys, allegedly without legislative approval. Nobody said anything. Bola Ahmed Tinubu unilaterally decide to float the naira. These are some of the things that have brought pain and hardship to Nigerians. The northern elite, the northern governors that are crying now that, oh, this thing will make the north poor. As the past policies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has it not made the northern population poor? The subsidy removal, has it not affect the northern population? The floating of the naira. In a country whereby we operate what I call a foreign economy, the way that if you look around you, most of the things are imported, including some of the food that you eat. So if you now decide to float the naira, do you know how many people will not be able to afford the food by the implication of that? The northern politicians, the governors, they didn't say anything. So gradually, they are molding President Bola Ahmed Tinubu into a president that find it right to act without consultation. And that was the genesis of this problem. Because if, when the bill was drafted, if there had been stakeholders negotiation, if there had been consultation, all this argument, all this displacement wouldn't have occurred because they would have kind of like made some adjustment and reach a common front. But you have already molded a precedent that in his head, it is a crime to consult. In his head, he has the final say. In his brain, he believes that he can act the way he pleases. And that is why I repeat again that don't always encourage wrongdoing, because when you encourage it, it will always come back to hurt you. It may favor you at first, but you come back to hurt you later. When the president removed electricity subsidy unilaterally, nobody complained. Now, why are you complaining? That is it. Now, let us flip the coin. Is the tax reform bill, is it a good initiative by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Of course, yes. A very perfect one. In fact, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is used to doing the wrong thing. His presidency is used to doing the wrong thing. But if there's one thing that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has gotten right, is this tax reform bill. Get me right. I am totally in support of it. Because it is not a colonization agenda. No. It is an end to exploitation agenda. In the sense that the North has been profiting without working. They are used to free money. And this is something that has created the production, or if you like, the emergence of unintelligent politicians, lazy politicians, whereby any ragtag, any scallywag can become a governor because why? He doesn't need to think before he governs the state. Free money will just be flowing in from Abuja. Before now, the tax is being shared by virtue of population and land mass. But now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying, let us adopt a derivation formula so that whatever you are able to accrue as tax, a percentage will go to you, the remaining percentage will come to the federal government. In the true sense of it, is that not the beginning of the practice of true federalism in the true sense of it? But now they are protesting because the level of productivity in the north is on the low. And that's why some of these guys are protesting. Let us look at it from the northern ruling elite hypocrisy. In the sense that the northern ruling elite, they came together during the time of Obasanjo to ask for Sharia. That all they want, what is important to them, is Sharia. They twist Obasanjo to get the Sharia. And in some states in the north now, consumption of beer is prohibited. So if you are not allowing the consumption of beer, but when tax is collected from the consumption of beer, they will take it to the federal government and they will share it according to landmass and population, which favors the north. Because the north, by virtue of their religion, with profound respect to them, they marry more than one wife. It is allowed in their culture and according to their religion in Islam. So their population grows like wildfire. So if you are to be sharing by population and landmass, the north will be benefiting more. So why do you want to keep benefiting from something that you believe that your religion is against, something that is not being consumed in your environment? So the derivation formula is right, which is that end tax, whatever the federal government accrued as tax in your state, a percentage will come to you. So if you are not consuming, if you are not allowing the consumption of beer, then you will not earn money from the tax that is being earned from beer. One thing we need to look at in all of this is, will the president back down? Is he likely to back down? It is more of maybe not than maybe, because the president is somebody that is used to having his way. When he was governor in Lagos State, his deputy governor, Femi Pedro, Koforola Bokno, Akerele, were booted out of office. So the president is somebody that is used to having his way. And if you look at the whole of his presidency, when it comes to taking decisions that pertains to scrutiny, the president is not used to that much level of accountability. So I don't see him backing down. And I expect that the resistance will continue from the north, because the northern governor, the northern political elite have always been lazy. And it's not just the northern political elite. Political elite across Nigeria, if you look at both the north and south, you find questionable characters holding strategic offices, strategic political offices, because what it takes to survive in that office is not much intelligence. In fact, it is little or no intelligence, because free money will always come. But one thing that gives me serious concern is, if the north is not concerned about the exploitation of other regions in the country over the years by the sharing formula, why are they now concerned about colonization agenda, which is not the case? The president is not trying to colonize the north. No, he's not. He's trying to bring justice, equity, and fairness. So if first subsidy is good, if floating of the naira is good, if removal of electricity subsidy is good, and this thing has been bringing hardship to the average Nigerians, including in the north, then why is the tax reform bill, why is it not good? Right? So are you saying that exploitation of other regions should continue, whereby you are not spending to provide? See, when you a company is located in your area, or people are living in your area, you spend much in terms of security. You spend much in terms of providing amenities to accommodate the needs of those people. So if these things are not in your area and you are collecting tax on them, in fact, I expect that the northern leaders should come from the high moral ground to say that we don't like consumption of alcohol. Please don't give us anything, any money generated from alcohol. We don't want it. We don't want it. Don't give us. But that has not been the case. So it shows that there is a northern greed that needs to be tackled. But the thing now is that what will happen if the president pass this bill? I hope it won't be a way of bringing more hardship to Nigerians. That's my major concern. Because at the end of the day, the President Bola Tinubu government, like that of Buhari, has been a government of tax and borrow. During the time of Buhari, anytime he needs money or anytime things are not going right and it involves finance, it's either he decides to tax or to borrow. A government of tax and borrow. So the Bola Tinubu presidency being known as a government of tax and borrow, that is my fear. That if you reform this tax and you remove the exploitation of the north, hope it won't come back to hurt Nigeria, because now you are selling the tax reform as a beautiful bride, that this is what Nigerians need. I hope that it is not a way that at the end of the day you now change pattern. You now change pattern to begin to inflict more hardship on Nigeria, because Nigerians are already directly or indirectly overtaxed. So what I want to see is a just society where no one will exploit the other and no one will be seeking to colonize the other. And I also want to see a president that will rule according to the dictate of the constitution, not according to how he wishes. Because, like I said at the beginning, don't encourage wrongdoing. Don't encourage that people should have their way without being accountable. Because what favors you can always come back to hurt you. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we relax to talk about politics and happenings in the politics. Do you want to subscribe turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have great, interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, of course, you already know that I love you all sincerely.